I'm going to be talking step ups today and some common mistakes I see with golfers and clients doing step ups that kind of takes away from the benefit of the exercise. So step ups are a great exercise for building lower body strength, force production into the ground, and single leg strength as well. So one of the biggest mistakes I see is people do way too high of a step. Okay, so the goal is not necessarily to try to go as high as you can. The goal is to have enough height to challenge you, and then to load that with external load, dumbbells, barbell, kettlebells, whatever you can hold to add more weight to your body weight if needed. So this is an 8-inch step. I usually use 8 to 10, maybe 12-inch for taller golfers. That's about as high as I'll go. And the problem with the higher step is you get too much hip flexion, okay, which gets you in too much of a hip flexion range of motion. So I mean knee up into the hip, which kind of takes away from the biomechanical advantage of the exercise. We don't need to work in that high range of motion for the benefits of golf, and people tend to cheat a lot more. So the second issue I see is people neglect the lowering phase or the eccentric phase of it, which is a huge portion of building strength and building muscle. So what they tend to do is they'll show you from the side here, is they'll drive up and then just kind of fall down. So again, this could be step too high, too much weight, or just kind of not really focusing on the repetition. So what you want to do, so we're going to be doing a forward step up. We're going to load this leg, we're going to drive to that leg, and then we're going to keep the load on that leg until the foot hits the ground. You can kind of keep the load there, and you can just do tap the toe and then drive back up and never unload that leg. You can fully unload, reload, or obviously you can step off, step back on. The key here is we want to keep that load on that leg that's on the step as long as possible. So again, if we're going to do, let's say, a lateral step up, I like to do a heel tap. So here we're going to load, drive up, control it down, tap the heel, drive up, control it down. So controlling that lowering portion, that eccentric portion, is huge. So when you're determining weight and step height, it needs to be a height that you can control that. It's not too high, not too much hip flexion, and then a weight that you can also control. So that's going to determine more of deciding those things and just trying to go as heavy as you can if you can't control that eccentric lowering. The third thing is we want to keep a somewhat vertical torso, so we don't want to get too rounded here. So again, just kind of chest up. You can have a little forward lean, driving up, keeping that chest pointed forward, not getting too much like that. So great exercise for lower body strength, for balance, stability. Great exercise to load and build strength if done properly. So again, choose a proper step height. Higher isn't necessarily the goal. Choose a proper load that you can control on the way down, and keep that torso more vertical and upright.